Do you see light at the end of the tunnel? Check your mind. But what do I see? I'll tell you. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmondo Pillow, the radio man. The radio man is here.
In the global village of conflicting ideologies and complexities, understanding systems and schemes through awareness and social reconstruction becomes expedient.
They never told you how you offended them?
I'm not on trial, so I can't go before.
Join the radio man, Edmondo Bilo, on State Affairs for local and international politics, security, extensive economic analysis, interviews, and world power play.
Nigerians must choose the path they want to follow. Follow the same looters and sponsors of violence who control the political structures or encourage the formation of a new leadership team.
Be a global citizen and join the radio revolution on State Affairs. State Affairs with Edmond Obilo. Radio just got deeper.
Betamaso sanalom Huasabenge kaputo
State Affairs.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo.
Dear friends, countrymen and women, arise and shine. Step up, dream, work towards your dream. As a radio man, I spend a lot of time connecting with you. So while waiting in this lobby last Saturday, I took a moment to catch up with some of your WhatsApp messages. One particular message stood out, and it resonated deeply with me. The listener expressed frustration, stating that he is tired of hearing my message of hope and promises of future prosperity. You know, I often say on air, 6 miles to the moon, we shall reach the stars. But this listener shared that he can't even see the moon, let alone the stars. He said he has had enough of Nigeria and he is considering his options. One of them is to leave the country. Since then, I've been reflecting on how to respond to the listener. But I found myself at a loss for words. Happily, I have found the words. So, dear listener, I know you are listening. Thank you for sending me your message, and for others who always send their feedback. I appreciate you. So, dear listener, your message struck a chord deep within me, and I want to thank you for your honesty. Your frustration is valid, and your feelings are shared by many who are weary of the challenges we face in Nigeria. When you said, "I can't even see the moon, let alone the stars," I felt the weight of your despair. It reminded me that hope, while powerful, can sometimes feel out of reach when the present feels so heavy. Well, let me tell you a story. Imagine a farmer standing in a field during a drought. The soil is cracked, the sky is relentless, and the seeds he planted seemed buried under layers of dust. He looks at the barren land and wonders if his labor will ever bear fruit. Yet, deep down, he knows that rain will come. It always does. And when it does, the seeds he thought were lost will sprout, and the field will bloom again. The farmer's patience is not passive. It is an act of faith in the cycles of nature and the resilience of life. Nigeria is that field, and we are the farmers. The cracks in the soil are real, and the drought has been long. But I believe in the rain. I believe in the seeds we have planted, our dreams, our efforts, and our collective will to rise. Yes, the moon and the stars may seem distant now, but that does not mean we'll stop reaching for them. Every step we take, no matter how small, brings us closer to the moon. I understand the temptation to leave. I understand the temptation to seek greener pastures elsewhere. There is no shame in that. But I know that Nigeria is not just a place. It is an idea, a promise, and a home. It is flawed, yes, but it is ours. And it is worth fighting for. The change we seek will not come overnight, but it will come through our resilience, our creativity, and our refusal to give up. So, to every young person who feels like they've lost hope, I say this: your frustration is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that you care deeply. And caring is the first step towards change. Don't stop dreaming of the moon and the stars. But also, don't forget to look at the ground beneath your feet. Plant your seeds, even in the drought. Water them with your courage, your determination, and your love for the land. One day, the rain will come. And when it does, we will look back and realize that every step, every struggle, and every act of hope was worth it. Because Nigeria is not just a country, It is a story we are writing together. And I believe with all my heart that our story will have a beautiful ending. Keep the faith. Keep reaching. And remember, even in the darkest night, the stars are still there waiting for us to see them. Hello. 6 miles to the moon. We will reach the stars. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. The radio man is here. It's like the PDP is about collapsing. What is going on?
Well, I won't say it's collapsing, but it has its problems. What is going on actually is that there are external hands trying to destroy PDP from internal sources, but it has external hands on them. And well, we are still battling with the problem, and I believe PDP will not be destroyed. We will soon be able to get through the problems.
You said external hands.
Yes.
Battling the party.
Yes.
Through internal hands.
Yes, please.
Have you been able to trace the external hands?
Yeah, we know. It's not hidden. It's not hidden. We know that our opponents, the APC, have a hand in what is happening to us. So we know it.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
And of course, even if I don't vote for you, you can buy your way through. If you have the right amount of money in your hand, you can buy your way through.
How? How do they do that?
Well,
can you buy INEC?
Ask the courts.
When you say buy your way through,
ask
you
the
buy
courts.
the voters?
Ask the courts.
You buy the voters?
Buy everything.
You buy INEC?
Everybody.
You buy police?
Everybody.
You buy the army?
Everybody. You buy them all.
So our election is about buying?
Yes, please. And that is one thing we must curb.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Look, I said that's exactly why
you did not speak with the journalists.
I didn't speak with the journalists.
So how did the journalists get the information?
Because people, this is waiting room at the airport.
Was your voice that loud?
No.
You were whispering.
People are moving around.
You were whispering.
I wasn't whispering. I was speaking normally.
You were talking normally.
Yes.
So they must have heard you.
That's the thing. Because it was the second day that they called me. I went to Calabar. That it was in the newspaper that I was comparing Dele Giwa death with a problem of Okada and something.
But that is true. But that is true.
It's not true.
Perhaps they gave it wrong interpretation. You said it.
Yes.
But it was wrongly interpreted. That's the point you are making.
Good.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Do you think it is time for Igbo presidency?
It has always been time for Igbo presidency. We have always fought for Igbo presidency. In 2007, in my last year as a governor, I also contested for the presidency. So it has always been there. There's no time we have shied away from it.
So why have the Igbo man not achieved that ambition?
Yeah, because, let me put it straight, the rest of Nigeria is yet to trust an Igbo man to become the president of the country. That's the major problem.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo.
Before the bomb incident on October 19th, 1986, it was said that the DMI boss, Halilu Akilu, had called Dele Giwa, intimating him of his likely visit. Is that true?
Yes.
That is true.
There you remember mentioned it.
Halilu Akilu wanted to visit Dele Giwa.
He asked for his address.
House address.
Yeah.
And he never visited.
He explained. Because DIG, remember, said they invited Akilu.
Okay.
And he came. They asked him all these questions. That he said he was planning to travel. So, and he felt that, okay, if his house is close by, on his way to the airport, he could branch and see him. But he didn't.
He didn't.
He didn't travel again.
So why didn't he call to say, I'm not coming again? Okay, you are not Halilu Akilu.
Exactly.
But he wanted to get the house address.
But Omebe cleared Akilu.
But he got the house address, right?
Yes.
And after getting the house address, the next day somebody delivered the letter. Right?
It was 2 days after.
Okay, 2 days after. A letter was delivered.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
So who are the internal hands the APC is using?
Well, they are using people within our own rank.
Who are these people?
Well, we maybe that is confidential, but we know them.
Is Wike one of those being used to destroy the PDP?
Oh, why are you calling Wike? Have you any information?
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
A Paso bomb was sent to Dele Giwa, right?
Yeah.
They said the Paso bomb bore the insignia of the head of state. Is it true? It was well packaged, like a message from the head of state. Is it true?
That was what they said. It's not true. Because I have analyzed that aspect. Because he said the parcel was in a envelope, which kind of you can say is a padded envelope. And he said that it was put there from the CNC.
Commander-in-Chief.
Now, but again, he said there was the insignia of the presidency on the envelope. If there is the insignia of the presidency there, there is no need again from the CNC.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
All right. So, the Kunle Togun interview part 2 on this edition of State Affairs. I have a former governor of Imo State, Chief Achike Udenwa, on State Affairs. Don't miss those interviews on this edition of the program. Achike Udenwa is the author of Nigeria Biafra Civil War, My Experience. Have you read this book by Imo State former governor Achike Udenwa? He is the author of this book, Nigeria Biafra Civil War, My Experience. A good book to read. Kunle Togun is the author of the book, Dele Giwa, The Unanswered Questions. Dele Giwa, The Unanswered Questions. So my two guests on this edition of State Affairs are authors of book, if you read Achike Odenwa's story of the Biafran War, you would understand his journey so far. And it's one of the best books on the war, because what he did was to give a chronological account of Nigeria's history, bringing the Civil War as one of the events, and then narrating his experience of the war. After the war, he also went as far as studying Nigeria post-war. So if you look at this book of 256 pages, you have a deeper understanding of Nigeria's journey from pre-independence to post-independence. If you read Kunle Togun's book, he gave his own side of the story of the death of Dele Giwa, the renowned journalist. Dele Giwa was killed in a parcel bomb explosion in his house. If you are interested in these books, you can get them on udarabooks.com. You can also contact me on my WhatsApp number, 080-999-18449. Pa Ayo Adebanjo is no more. Baba is dead. He died at the age of 96. You know, last week I was contemplating talking to him. So I caught somebody who is very close to him first to ask, how is Baba? Because I know Baba is 96. So I wanted to know that 96, will Baba be able to talk? Because in my interview with Chief Bisi Akonde, he raised a lot of issues surrounding Chief Ayo Adebanjo. But at 96, I felt no. Let Baba rest, I beg. At least he has spoken to me before and he has answered some of these questions. Now, that was about 10 or 12 years ago. But when I put in the call, I asked my Egbon, I said, Egbon, how is Baba? I said, Baba is not doing too well. So he explained that, old age. I said, okay, as if anything happens now, we are ready. You know, I wasn't sad at 96, you know. So when I heard the story of Baba's demise yesterday, I said, wow, so Egbon was right. He lived a fulfilled life. An Awoist to the core. An Awoist to the core. He was controversial. He could bear his voice, he could bear his fangs. For such a man, different stories must be told about him. And I was happy that Baba wrote his autobiography before he died. You know, when I interviewed him about 12 years ago, I met him writing his autobiography. And a renowned journalist was around helping him, arrange the story. So while that interview was going on, he kept saying, Edmond, why not wait for my autobiography? I said, yes, write your autobiography. While you tell me your story, I will also help you write your side of the story. So Baba wrote his autobiography. And in this autobiography, he told his story. His autobiography is entitled, Telling It As It Is. He speaks. The way he speaks, that's the way he writes. So he's blunt. Chief Ayo Adebanjo is blunt to a fault. And that's the way he writes. So if you read his autobiography, you'll be able to trace his political trajectory, pre-independence to becoming a core Awoist, Afenifere, the politics of AD, Bola Ige. These are the stories you will find in the book, Telling It As It Is. But one of the most eventful stories of Ayo Adebanjo's life has to do with Awolowo going to prison. You know, Awolowo wrote a book, Adventures in Power, Book 1, My March Through Prison. Awolowo was sent to prison for treasonable felony. What was his offense? Remember, the understanding of the past and its interpretations determine the values of the future. So the crisis of the Western region immediately after Nigeria's independence in 1960, a fallout of the battle of supremacy between Obafemi Awolowo and his deputy, Ladoke Akintola, is a story of the past. But the analysis of that event are lessons of history. And Ayo Adebanjo is one of the lessons of that event. Awolowo, having relinquished the premiership of the Western region in 1959, chose to move to the federal parliament for national leadership. Awolowo became opposition leader and his deputy in the leadership of the Action Group came to the Western region to become the premier. So Ladoke Akintola left the federal parliament for his leader and came to occupy the position his leader occupied in the Western region as the premier. No sooner had this happened than both men engaged in a power struggle over the principles of government. Awolowo, as leader of the party, insisted on party supremacy, but Akintola believed in government supremacy. So when the Action Group crisis of 1962 heightened, following the 25th May 1962 disorder in the Western Region House of Assembly, Tafawa Balewa, the Prime Minister of Nigeria, moved a motion for the declaration of a state of emergency in the Western region, marking a turning point in the political history of Nigeria. The emergency rule became the fuel that consumed the First Republic, leading to the military takeover of government in 1966, eventually leading to the Nigerian Civil War. A state of emergency was declared in the region as Obafemi Awolowo dealt with the Coca Commission set up to investigate the finances of the Western region under his watch. Awoist saw the investigation as the consolidation of the plot to humiliate Awolowo, who was at loggerheads with the Tafawa Balewa federal government that backed the Akintola Western region. Awolowo and 30 of his political associates were later accused by the federal government of plotting a coup to overthrow it. Consequently, they were charged to court for treasonable felony, conspiracy to commit a felony, and conspiracy to effect an unlawful purpose. Chief Obafemi Awolowo was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment with hard labor on 11 September 1963. Before sentencing him, Justice George Sodende Sowemimo of the Lagos High Court listened as Awolowo made a statement. Awolowo's statement predicted the future. But among those that were accused of plotting that coup was Pa Ayo Adebanjo. He was not among those sentenced to prison. Why was he not among those sentenced to prison? He was among those who were able to escape out of the country before they were arrested. So I want us to listen to this interview with Chief Ayo Adebanjo. Here we speak about the so-called coup.
Those that were sent to Ghana to topple the Tafawa Balewa government.
We went to Ghana to study Nkrumah's form of organization, the CPP. You know, they were the ruling party then there. As an organizing secretary, we went there.
That was what happened. That was not question of calling that to come and topple anybody.
But
that was the allegation when they wanted to get rid of the opposition.
Was there a plan to remove Tafawa Balewa?
We are only opposed to Buhari government. There's no plan to remove him democratically.
There was no plot
I don't.
to remove him forcefully.
I don't know about any plot to remove him forcefully. But I know we are doing everything just the way APC are trying to remove Jonathan.
Sam Ikoku was part of the AG.
Yes.
He was an Awolowo man.
Yes.
So listen to what he said.
Yes.
He said, we were fed up with the way the Nigerian system, the Nigerian state, and the Nigerian government were operating. We were deeply committed to a change of government, and we saw that waiting for elections would not produce any solution to the problem. This was what we did. We started preparations for it, and the preparations had gone very far, and I believe we would have pulled it off. But unfortunately for us, our leader was so kind to the Nigerian police that he had a police informant among his planners, and so the police knew every move we were making, and so it was easy to trip us up. Our leader even became the number 2 citizen in the country. I felt it was time to tell the country the truth, so that our history would be correct. So all I'm saying is that, yes, there was an attempt to overthrow the government. Yes, I took part in the attempt. Yes, it failed, thanks to people like MD Yusuf and co. Chief Adebanjo, what do you have to say?
That's his view. That's not my view. That's SG Koku talking, not Adebanjo.
A member of the AG.
Look, during the Seasonable Fellow Day, late Professor Onobamiru gave evidence that he was a member of the planning committee to school. But when he was questioned at the trial, that's another matter.
You ran away. You did not come to the country during that treason trial, right?
Yes.
Why did you run away?
I didn't run away. I will give you the background. By the time they were arresting people for, after we left a rally for detention, it was Shifaulo who said we should not allow all of us to be arrested here, and that he was not going to leave the country. But there must be people who will be championing our cause abroad, telling what is happening at home. That was how myself and Ikuku were sent abroad, not because we ran away.
Ikuku was in Ghana too?
Yeah, he was my leader in Ghana.
So if Ikuku accepted this, why did he choose to accept?
Unfortunately, you should have asked him.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
I thought you were going to confirm this story.
No,
the reason I came to you with this book.
I've heard it before. You are not embarrassing me. It's not new to me. If you knew what transpired after later between Shifaulo and SG Koku, when it was described as Shifaulo gave himself to somebody who is perfidious. There must be a reason for it. You see, those of our group with our law, are you listening? There are so many people in this country that when we remember what the role they played, we shake our head. After all, and our role was with us. But later on, what did he do? He went with the opposition. So many reasons for many people changing their view when the blow is hot. If you remember, at a certain stage, before Audo was incarcerated, when Biabania started their opposition on us, they shock number 1 for Audo, shock number 2 for Audo. Those were the time when she wrote to William and others were resigning from the action group. Almost every day, leading members of the party, those whom the leader built up. So on that, And on occasion, all those we knew, the Shiwalo knew, were in the periphery of the party. He summoned the party, the Kenya, and expelled all of them. So there will be no question of anybody shock number one, shock number two. All those we knew that are not steady, we expelled them at that time. So it is not strange.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live. Stay tuned.
My children are athletes. From the moment they wake up, they keep playing.
Holocaust. You called it Holocaust.
Yes. That came up in the Western region during 1965 election as a result of the ruling class trying to extend their political tentacle to cover the West. So it resulted to using talks to snatch away boxes. There was naked rigging of election that degenerated into almost anarchy in the West. So the riot in the West, which was popularly referred to as Operation Weti,
Operation Weti,
where mass people were killed, was going on. The Prime Minister was helpless to quell the situation, and this created an avenue for the military people to take over.
And you said there were jubilations in the street of Kaduna.
Yes,
when Zogo and Co struck.
But
why would they jubilate when Ahmadu Bello, their leader, was killed in that coup?
Because of the happenings, the political happenings during that time. People were disenchanted with the level of corruption going on among the ruling class. The nepotism was going on. And it came to a level where vote did not count. In our nascent democracy in the Fourth Republic. So people were not happy.
Who did you see jubilating? Were they northerners?
The masses.
Or southerners in Kaduna?
Masses of
did
the
you,
people.
Did you jubilate?
Yes, I did.
You welcomed the coup?
I thought it was a relief, a big relief. I thought it was a big relief.
In your first book, this book?
Yes.
This is your first book?
Exactly.
About the war?
Yeah.
You titled the book, The Bloody Nigerian Biafran War.
Exactly.
You called the first coup a revolution.
A revolution.
Why was it a revolution?
It was a change in government.
In this book, it's like you celebrated the first coup.
I celebrated it. If you look at the personality of those who staged the coup, the January coup, 1966, they were radicals, element, well read. Look at the life of Njogu, Cardinal Njogu. He was widely read with the school of Marxist philosophy, and he was vast in military history. So he was a radical socialist officer who wanted a change of government. They wanted to clean up the government, the First Republic, because they saw
that that government of Balewa was not working. It was not working. So they wanted to uproot it. So that was why Sadana was killed. Sadana was the leader of the party, NPC, who stayed in Kaduna. Tafawa Balewa was the prime minister who controlled the apparatus at the federal level. So Anuyo wanted to change. Two of them became target of the revolutionaries.
You also made the point in your first book,
yes,
that it was not an Igbo coup.
No, it's not an Igbo coup. It's not an Igbo coup. Because I disagree with those people who have been lying that Ujogu coup was an Igbo coup. Some of them are even arguing that because only Ademoyega, Major Ademoyega, who is a Yoruba major, if not the whole 8 of them were Igbos. That was the premise they look at it from. And it was a wrong premise. You see, a revolution is a revolution. Whether people are from the same place, provided you have the same mind to remove those in power, it doesn't matter at all. It doesn't matter at all. I don't agree with those people who tag Nzogu revolution as Igbo revolution.
You know, some would say that the killings were targeted towards certain regions.
Mm-hmm.
Why another region was excluded from the killings.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at the region that was excluded from the killing, the eastern region, most of the officers that carried out that coup came from that region or close to it. So they have defined that coincidence as an Igbo coup.
Not even coincidence. You can't say it's coincidence.
Okay.
It's a reality. The revolutionary wanted to change the government. Who were the people who were holding the apparatus of the government? The ruling class, the ruling party. Sadana was the head of the party. He stayed in Kaduna. If you want to change that government without eliminating Sadana, do you think that government that coup will succeed? That was why they became target of the revolutionaries.
What about Akintola?
Akintola was, yes, Akintola. You see what happened was that they made an alliance with
Nigerians are hungry. There is runaway inflation. There's violence in the southeast, violence in northwest. The middle belt is not safe. The northeast is still being bogged down by Boko Haram and ISWAP. Has the political class failed?
Well, APC as a party has failed. Nigerians have found it difficult to accept APC. Even Nigerians have showed it with their votes. And this time around, if we get our acts together, APC will be a goner.
So Tinubu is out already if you get it right.
If we get it right, it's gone, and the APC is gone.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
And of course, even if I don't vote for you, you can buy your way through. If you have the right amount of money in your hand, you can buy your way through.
How? How do they do that?
Well,
can you buy INEC?
Ask the courts.
When you say buy your way through,
yeah, ask
you
the
buy
courts.
the voters?
Ask the courts.
You buy the voters?
Buy everything.
You buy INEC?
Everybody.
You buy police?
Everybody.
You buy the army?
Everybody. You buy them all.
So our election is about buying?
Yes, please. And that is one thing we must curb.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
You accused Dele Giwa of gun running, right?
That's the information. They say he was talking somewhere about arms and ammunition.
They said.
He was not accused of gun running.
Who they said? Who are they?
That's the information that reached SSS.
How did you get the information?
I cannot say that because I'm not the only source of information to SSS.
But was it true?
They have all over the place. They have people writing reports in.
Did you investigate it?
He was not accused. I said, we asked him, where were you talking about arms and ammunition?
And what did he say?
He said, Akilu has asked him. I was waiting for us to answer that question because Akilu has asked that question and he has discussed Akilu. And I said, okay, you should have this thing. But later on, he said he is aware that some people are out to blackmail him.
And what did you tell him?
I told him, then go and assess all your friends and the people you talk with.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Was it true that he discussed gun issues?
We asked him, where were you talking about arms and ammunition?
But I'm asking now, did he ever talk about arms and ammunition from the information you got?
There are so many sources of information and intelligence to SSS.
Do you verify those sources?
It's not every information that gets to me.
The one that got to you that made you to invite Dele Giwa, did you
That
did you
woman told me this is what we were inviting him for.
As the Deputy Director General, did you interrogate that information?
Since it came to me that they invited him, I didn't know when they invited him.
The point I'm making, was that information authentic or the SSS just wanted to intimidate him?
No. If it was not authentic, they will not invite him.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Who killed Bola Ige? Pardon? All right. The Kunle Togun interview on State Affairs. The Achike Udenwa interview on State Affairs. Achike Udenwa was the governor of Imo State from 1999 to 2007. He is the author of the book, Nigeria Biafra Civil War, My Experience. Kunle Togun is the author of the book, Dele Giwa, The Unanswered Questions. Chief Ayo Adebanjo is no more. Another subject that made Ayo Adebanjo controversial was the issue of Bola Ige. Some feel he was the most critical antagonist of Bola Ige's aspiration to the presidency of Nigeria. So let's reflect on that. So what I will do here is I'll play Bisi Akonde, I'll bring in Ayo Adebanjo. Reflection time on State Affairs. Let's start with Chief Bisi Akonde, a former governor of Osun State.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Who killed Bola Ige? Pardon? Who killed Bola Ige?
I don't know. He was killed in Oyo State. I was ruling in Osun State.
He was killed
in Oyo State. I was ruling in Osun State.
Was the crisis in Osun State related to the death of Bola Ige? The crisis between you and your deputy, Omishore?
Not in any way.
Not in any way?
Not in any way. Not in any way.
It's not connected?
It is the anticipation. It is the anticipation of the future that Bola Ige might prevent. The government killed him. The government killed Bola Ige. I said so, I'm clear.
The government?
The government killed him.
It was a state murder?
It was a state murder.
How did you arrive at this conclusion? Because at that time, you were the chief security officer of Osun State.
Yes, not of Oyo State. Lamadesina was the chief security something of Oyo State. Went to court. And the governor that took over from him, what's the name now?
Ladoja. We drew the case from the court. He might be able to tell you more. He might know more than I know.
Ladoja might know more.
Oh, yes.
But Lam Additional took the case to court.
To court, yes.
So Lam Additional knew more.
Oh, he should know more.
Than you knew at the time.
Oh, definitely. It happened in your state.
And both of you were governors under Alliance for Democracy.
Oh, yes, we are.
So did Lam Additional tell you what he knew?
He told me many things which I may not be able to tell you.
Many things you did not write in this book?
Yes, which I didn't write in that book.
Why, Chief Akonde?
Because there are many things you may know and you don't tell the public.
You don't want to tell us?
I don't want to tell anybody.
Please tell us.
No, I will not.
We want to know.
I don't want to tell anybody.
I'm talking about Bola Ige here, your mentor.
Oh, yeah, Bola Ige is dead. Lam Adesina is dead. Who will be my witness now? Nobody. So I don't want to say. There are many things you know, it dies with you.
It dies with you?
Yes. But I know Lam Adesina went to court and he will have proved his case in court. And I know Ladoja withdrew the case from court. He would know more about how Bola Ige died.
It was government that killed Bola Ige.
It was government that killed Bola Ige.
It was not Obasanjo that killed Bola Ige.
I don't know who killed Bola Ige.
But you know it is government.
It's government.
He was the Attorney General.
Yes, government can kill anybody.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Yes, Baba Bisia Konde there. Chief Rashid Ladoja has since fired back. Oba Ladoja said Akonde lied against him on Bola Ige's murder. Rashid Ladoja is a former governor of Oyo State. He refuted Akonde's claims regarding the withdrawal of the case on the assassination of former Attorney General Bola Ige. In a statement, Ladoja stated that Chief Akonde lied against him, clarifying that he assumed office 18 months after Ige's murder and had no role in withdrawing the case, which was later prosecuted up to the Supreme Court. In the statement, Ladoja threatened to sue Akonde if he did not apologize over his claims in the video. Has Chief Akonde apologized? Will Ladoja still go to court? Time will tell. Akonde said government killed Bola Ige. I asked Ayo Adebanjo about the murder of Bola Ige.
You are going to another life, because if by the time he died, a lot of stories were being told. That was the leaders of the Afenifere that killed him. And the guy that has been funny. Those of us who are not in government, we now organize the assassination of somebody whom the government gave 6 security people. And instead of looking inwards at that time, if they did, they would have known who killed him. And that pained me. Those of
who were the suspects?
Many people knew. Don't ask me that question on the radio. We are all in this country.
Do you feel he was eliminated so that somebody would capture the Southwest?
Whatever it is, we knew his killing had some authority support. And our own reason is this. How can the chief law officer of the country, with 6 security people attached to him, be killed the way Bola Ige was killed? Those who are talking about this, they don't know what injury we have. And the 6 people left the man we are killing to go and eat. My dear, you follow all these things, because people are just talking to sentiment, the old prejudice. And they still say, because he had disagreed with his leaders, those are people killing, I just laugh.
Did the leaders of Afenifere and AD see that tragedy coming?
Yes, because we knew Obasanjo didn't like him.
You knew?
Yes. And in fact, Pa Adesoya had information from somebody when I just said he was going to draw him near to knock him because Bola Ige said very serious things against Obasanjo before. Only people just don't know. And when he heard that, by the time that he heard, it was too late for us to tell Bola Ige, be careful, this is what we heard this man say.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
That's the voice of Chief Ayo Adebanjo. I had that interview with him about 12 years ago. Ayo Adebanjo is the author of the book, Telling It As It Is, his autobiography. Interesting book. Chief Bisi Akonde also has his autobiography. I'm happy that these men are writing. Chief Akonde is writing another book. His autobiography is entitled My Participation. He said he's writing another one, My Observation. So My Participation is a book on history, politics, and power. Telling It As It Is by Ayo Adebanjo. It's a book on history, politics, and power. State Affairs, it's about politics, history, and power. So read these books. I recommend them to you. You can find them on udarabooks.com. You can also order them through my WhatsApp number, 080-999-18449, 080-999-18449. Have you read the biography of a former governor for your state, Abiola Ajimobi? Have you read Ajimobi's biography? Okay. I have found some of Ajimobi's biography, written by Sam Amatsai. Abiola Ajimobi, architect and builder of modern Oyo State. Look at it. Very scarce book. I found some copies for you. Abiola Ajimobi, architect and builder of modern Oyo State. Early life, career, politics, governance, and legacy. It is an authorized biography. He authorized Sam Amasai to write this biography. You can get a copy through my WhatsApp number. Order your copy through my WhatsApp number, 080-999-18449. Abiola Ajimobi. He was the governor of Oyo State from 2011 to 2019, the first man to have a second term as governor of Oyo State. It is still about Ayo Adebanjo, Afenifere, Bola Ige, and time. Ayo Adebanjo is no more. He died at the age of 96. Yes, Chief Bisi Akonde is here. He takes us into Afenifere and the politics of Bola Ige.
So some of his colleagues never liked the idea that Afenifere was Bola Ige's brainchild.
Who are these his colleagues?
Ayo Adebanjo especially, Olaniwun Ajayi, and who
is it Pa Onabanjo?
No. Onabanjo had died.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
I've heard of the Ijebu Four.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Ijebu Four?
Yes, I know. Yeah, if I remember their name, Papa Olaniwun Ajayi, Papa Ayo Adebanjo, Papa Onasanya, and Papa Abraham Adesanya. I don't know the position of Abraham Adesanya. To me, he's an honest leader, but a little weak because the other three always seems to choke him.
So those were the three main opposition to Bola Ige.
To Bola Ige.
In Afenifere.
In Afenifere. They were, those three I know of. Then they employed some foot soldiers like Okuromu, like Shonibare, and a few others like that. They have some foot soldiers, among us.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
So when he lost, how did he feel?
If we don't, listen, even your first son me is still alive. He announced, he was a member of the electoral college. He announced the result. You see, the pressure till today, and I hope many people will be listening now. Many people will be surprised the way I'm talking about that I was not a member of the electoral college because I was regarded as the main opponent of Bola Ige.
Were you his opponent?
No, but there is a misconception.
Where did that come from?
You shouldn't ask me. It is those who have that. We are good friends. When we were in Ibadan, I stay in his house whenever I come to him there.
Did he believe you were one of those who walked against him?
He believes so, and I tell you why. Before the election, we had a meeting in Kaduna. We had a meeting of the AG. In fact, we stayed in his wife's house. There was a judge of the Court of Appeal. And he asked us that he was going to contest election. I asked myself, I did so, and then he said that we should support him. And I told him, I can't support you. I am the chairman of the party. Will it be fair for me to support the candidate against the other when I'm the person to which the report will be brought to? Our Lord didn't teach us that way. So he's doing that. Not that I was supposed to. I only said that on principle.
But would you have loved that he emerged as the presidential candidate?
He's qualified. I only leave it to the democracy people to do, the body to do, to elect. But for me to give an advance, would you say that would be fair?
Chief Adebanjo, what happened during that election?
I wouldn't know. You should ask those who are there.
Did you ask them? Because Bola Ige was sure he was going to win.
Look.
So what happened? How did he lose that election? Because Yoruba land has not recovered from the crisis that emanated from that election.
It just depends upon how you look at it. You see, the young men and his admirers have their view. Those of us who are in the show, we know what happened.
What happened?
What happened was that there's a misconception, in my view, on the part of Bola Ige. And I said, those whom he said would vote for him that electoral college, how did he start him become dying or something? He should have asked himself. He told some people that, I'm going to win. I know one of the people I knew he told was Ambassador Fafura. He told me.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
He moved that Bola Ige should not be allowed to join, and nobody supported the motion.
But why should Bola Ige join a government led by the so-called enemy of his leader, Obafemi Awolowo?
Buhari sent me to prison. I'm now in APC with him.
No permanent enemy?
No, well, you are doing politics to win elections.
Why will Bola Ige join the government of a man you described as evil spirit?
Look, I said the party asked him to join.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
And Papa Laonde was asking us that we should support. I said, well, we can only support him if he says he believes that the party exists and takes permission. Then Laonde says to come and tell us that he has been appointed.
So did he do that?
He came later on after I said he has been appointed, and I said I didn't like my feelings. If Obasanjo wanted to form a coalition or what you call it at that time, I will not choose Bola Ige to him at that cabinet.
You made that statement?
Oh yes, they know. I tell you, you see, that's why I say when people talk, they don't know what the member of the party knew. Because I tell you, when people ask me, say, what right has Obasanjo to come and tell another party this is the man must be? If it is the all parties want to form, it is that party we give a candidate. So all I'm saying is, my own reasoning now is what I want people to criticize, not what people should be.
Who would you have nominated?
Eh?
Who would you have nominated?
Oh, I will nominate the lesser person because I consider the cabinet of Obasanjo at that time as third class.
So Bola Ige was too big for that
Too big
cabinet.
for that.
So
That's my own stand.
So you feel he belittled himself.
Yeah, one, not only that, he was going to lend credibility to Obasanjo's government. I said, if that cabinet is equipment there, those are your class, that is your class. I don't want to embarrass anybody. Who are the people formed? You know who formed the cabinet of Obasanjo at that time. I did the caliber of Bola Ige. And my own view is that the way we were as AD at that time, if we hold ourselves strong like that, Obasanjo's government won't last 6 months.
So do you blame
But
Bola?
I blame Bola Ige for weakening our stand to support that opponent.
And AD never recovered.
Of course.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Yes, you heard the voices of Chief Bisi Akonde, former governor of Osun State, and that of Pa Ayo Adebanjo, leader of Afenifere. Pa Adebanjo is no more. Hey, Baba has gone home. The end of an era. The end of an era. Okay, the lines are open. The lines are open. Let's talk. I have played you different voice notes. I've introduced you to different books. I have talked about the future of Nigeria. So the ball is in your court. Talk to the radio man. 070 694 930 00. That is 070 694 930 00. You can also call the radio station on 070 144 757 70. That is 070 144 757 70. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Edmond.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I'm Jide. I'm calling from Calabar.
All right, Jide.
Good morning. Now, condolence goes to the family of Baba Adebanjo. Baba came, saw, and conquered. Baba has been very blunt when he's talking. Yes, he has his own mistakes too. As human, you have your own mistakes and you have your strong points too. But one thing about Baba is that he never minds his word. He knows what he wants and never deceives you. Wherever he's going, he tells you. Yes, there were clashes between him and the camp of Bola Ige. And the camp of Bola Ige, you have the likes of Chief Bisi Akonde and others. They never liked him. And because of what happened at the Yoruba Hotel, presidential election, Bola Ige saga. Aside that, I don't think they have anything against him, except when the president, the issue of Tinubu came in. And they forgot that it was this Baba Adebanjo that brought out Tinubu to become governor of Lagos State. When Tinubu was not on the list at all. It's a function that has the what they call this thing in politics. The backing then in Lagos and the political family then Lagos to win. And he won. Social William won the primary then. I think it was 12 to 9 or something. But Adebanjo manipulated, let me use the word manipulated the process for Tinubu to come in. And you can never see the Tinubu coming out against Baba Adebanjo. He will not see anything. Though Rania used to attack him, but he will not say that because he knew Baba Adebanjo helped him. So when the likes of Bisi Akonde now came to now demonize him and say because he's doing this, but they are politicians. That's what they do. They say some things to weaken each other's position. So that's that. But what I like about Baba Adebanjo again is what I learned from him. Let me put it that way. It was when Chief Bisi Akonde accused him of receiving a house from actually Bola Tinubu. I think that was about 5 years ago. And Baba Adebanjo came out with receipts and records of how he built his house. In fact, he posted how much he bought nails, wood, ties, roofing sheets, and everything. And with names, and the surveyors that does it and everything, and the amount he paid. and the receipt.
Right.
So I think that's two things. Yeah, so that's what we learned from him. So the Baba so rest in peace. He loved the Yoruba. So may he rest in peace. Thank you, Mr. Edmond.
Thank you. John Oyisi says the crisis in the PDP, if care is not taken, will wreck the party completely. John Oyisi is on eggs. The lines are open. Call the radio station. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Your name and where you are calling from?
I'm Adenu Wale from Akwata.
All right.
Thank you for bringing Baba Adebanjo's memory to us this morning. In fact, it's a real shock for me and my family yesterday hearing about it, because Gabon will be one of the few where I can call him the last man standing. But he has gone to do with the Lord now. Because I love that Baba for one thing, because he's a true Awo to the core, and he stood by the principle of Awo, not bending or shifting ground. Look at one of your interviews asking him as the chairman of the party, the people in the inner caucus asking him, they wanted him to support one for another. He said no, as he has to do what non-interference. And that is how a good statesmanship should behave. And I think other politicians should emulate this kind of man. And look at, these are the people that still allowing the Afenifere having a voice in Nigeria politics up till now. Even though some cabal within the Afenifere try to weaken the organization, but he still stood his ground. Look at his activities during the death of Yinka Odumake. He was there. We were together in Moro, and may full rest of poverty. Long live Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you for calling the radio station. Ayo Adebanjo left for us his autobiography, telling it as it is. That is his autobiography. You can read his story. You can also read the story of Bisi Akonde, my participations, and autobiography. Abiola Ajimobi's biography is now available. You can order a copy through my WhatsApp number. The biography is entitled Abiola Ajimobi, Architect and Builder of Modern Oyo State. Written by Sam Omasei. The book is about his early life, career, politics, governance, and legacy. To order a copy, chat me up on my WhatsApp number, that is 080-999-18449. 080-999-18449. Another book I'm bringing to you is this one, Nigeria Biafra Civil War, My Experience, written by a former governor of Imo State, Achike Udenwa. Nigeria Biafra Civil War, My Experience, written by Achike Udenwa. Yes, this book, The Inside Story of Modern Commonwealth, written by Chief Emeka Anyoku. Have you read this work? International Politics. Here, international politics at its best. Nigerian politics here. It's a classic. This book is a good read. The Inside Story of the Modern Commonwealth, written by Chief Emeka Anyoku. All right, we'll take this call before I take a cup of water. Are you there? Call the radio station. Good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello? Good morning.
Can you please turn down the volume of your radio, sir?
I've done so.
All right.
Good morning. I just want to give to well done the state of affairs and the history peoples. The way Nigeria is growing, I doubt much if there is hope. There is no hope. Nigeria is already thinking. Nigeria is thinking. So there is no hope for future. Nigeria is getting bad
worse and worse. There's no hope. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, this is Ayikuto.
Ayikuto. All right.
You know, everything reminded on us. There to be historical. And he faith to learn from him. Anytime, any moment, it will become part of history and people will learn from him. We have learned a lot from Adebanjo. He was an oracle. He did his best during his lifetime. Because we remember the former governor of Oyo State, Governor Adumabi. People are calling him what he was not. He was one of the worst governors Oyo State will ever have. So it is very, very disappointing. People are not praising him. And on the PDP, as long as he has a wicked, he made a member of PDP. PDP is dead in Nigeria.
The way we just conclude, PDP is dead in Nigeria. That Nigeria is finished, no hope. You know, if you are a student, I was reading Peter Nahoro's book. What's the title again? Okay, that has escaped me. Even I was reading Chinua Achebe's book, The Troubles with Nigeria. If you read those books, Achebe's book was written in 1982 or 83. You know, the way he wrote about Nigeria. If you are reading that book now, you think Achebe is talking about the present Nigeria. And analysts have been saying Nigeria is finished. Nigeria is gone since 1979. That's a country has refused to go. Is it not telling you something? Go and read old newspapers. Analysts are saying Nigeria is gone. That Nigeria will not survive till 1990. This is 2025. And the country is still moving. Have you not asked why? Nigeria is coming. You've not seen anything. When this country will arrive, the world will know that Africa has arrived. Nigeria will come. Africa will come. The resilience of the people of this country is a sign. It gives me hope. Hunger here. You see Nigerians are moving. And that does not tell you something about the people that makes up this country. Even you that just called that Nigeria is finished, tomorrow you are still going out to hustle. Such a people cannot be finished. Have you seen the resilience of Nigerians? Anywhere we go in the world, we stand out. We are coming. This country will lift Africa out of poverty. Yes, certainly, we need to rework it, and we will. 6 miles to the moon. We will reach the stars. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM. The Integrity Station. I am Edmund Obilo. Stay tuned.
State Affairs with Edmund Obilo is live.
And it deteriorated to crisis, serious crisis. You see, so Western region became a problematic region that must be dealt with. The Prime Minister, Tafawa Balewa, who's supposed to use his power to quell the situation in the West, refused. So when Uyo came up, they wanted to bring peace in the Western region. Even when they are talking about Igbo coup, I always laugh at them. When you say that it was an Igbo coup, who was the person who was the mark to become the prime minister? Was it Okpara in the east? Was it Azikiwe, who had no power, who was a titular President General? It was Awolowo from the West. Then what type of interest the revolutionary wanted to protect? If they call it an Igbo coup, picking somebody from the West to become the prime minister. So they had a national interest, not an Igbo interest at all.
You sound as if Nzogu is your hero.
Yeah, he's my hero. He's my hero. Up till now, he's my hero. He's my hero.
Otsoja, you're saying that?
Yes. Because if he's not a hero, he's a nationalist. Nzogu was a nationalist to the core. You see, people, all these politicians are talking from their both sides of their mouth. When Nzogu was killed in July 1967, around the campuses of Nsukka University, in the night, by 21 Battalion, under Captain Wushishi. They recognized his body and they informed Gowon ordered them to remove the body to Kaduna for a befitting burial, national burial. He was given that national honor. Nzogu was given that national honor. So he was a hero. And when people talk about Igbo coup, I always laugh at them.
If you are interested in understanding the man Nzogu, I am recommending this book to you, Nzogu by Olusegun Obasanjo. It seems to be the only one who has taken time to give us a biography of Kaduna Nzogu. So this is one book that is revealing about the person of Nzogu. And Warrant Officer Peter Salifu, retired, seems to admire Nzogu a lot. So you can get this book on udarabooks.com, or you can order it through our WhatsApp numbers. So the numbers are on the screen. The Nzogu coup led to a counter coup.
Yes.
The counter coup was followed by a pogrom.
The program.
And your second book, entitled The Holocaust of the Nigerian Biafra War, dwells on that Holocaust.
Yes.
But on the pogrom in chapter 2.
Yes.
You make the point that you identified the officers that led the counter coup.
Yeah.
Muhammadu Buhari was one of them. Babangida,
Abacha,
Murtala Muhammad,
T.Y. Danjuma.
And some of them eventually became heads of states.
4 of them.
Is there something special about the caliber of that team?
If you examine that coup and the enthronement of these people as head of state, military head of state, you realize that these people were the people who entrenched ethnicity into Nigerian politics.
How do you mean?
Yes. Right from there, if you look at Buhari regime, there's no doubt that you can call that regime anti-ethnicity. He encouraged ethnicity and other vices. You see, that is why if you look closely, the Murtala Muhammad coup and how 4 of them became head of the military government in Nigeria subsequently, they wanted to protect their own interests, not the interest of the masses. Not the interest of the masses.
And not the interest of the North?
Not the interest of the North. Well, which North? Look at how they left the North in chaos. How many of them became president of this country from northern part of the country? Look at the poverty there, at alarming rate. Look at the insecurity in the North, the banditry, the Boko Haram, And maybe probably, was it a week ago, they said they have discovered another group again from Sokoto.
Yeah.
Coming up again. Good or not, we rule, our people govern for almost 20-something years. But what have we gotten from the north? Poverty and squalor. Abject poverty in the north. Nothing.
You live in the north.
I still live in the north.
You came all the way
from the north
to Ibadan. For this interview.
Yes. Despite my age of being 77 years old.
Why were you so interested?
I know, because I want to correct those errors. A lot of people are talking so much in the social media, trying to
We started the Kunle Togun interview last week. Brigadier General Kunle Togun interview. Kunle Togun retired. Now, Kunle Togun was the Deputy Director General of the DSS, or SSS as it was known, when Dele Giwa was killed. Dele Giwa had different encounters with Kunle Togun before his assassination. Kunle Togun is telling his story. He wrote a book, Dele Giwa, The Unanswered Questions. Have you read his book? You might want to read his book to understand his own side of the story. But this interview will help you to understand the Kunle Togun story. So Kunle Togun interview on State Affairs. Stay tuned. I want to read from your book.
Yeah.
On page 17, you said earlier, Dele Giwa had made us aware of his cordial relationship with General Ibrahim Babangida, the then Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, and the President, who had personally intervened and got his News Watch communications over 1 million naira import license. You said despite the fact that import license had been abolished then.
Good.
Dele Giwa mentioned how close he was to Brigadier Aliyu Mohammed and many other senior government officials. I mentioned to him that in consonance with our agreement at the October 7th, 1986 DMI seminar, any information available to us should be shared with them, the mass media. We were only keeping our side of the agreement. We also told him that if we believed the information, we would not have told him. So you didn't believe the information. So why did you invite him?
To warn him about he talks too much. And some of the talkings is what, when he was talking about blackmail, I said, come, are you sure some of the people you mention all these things to are not jealous of you? And they're just trying to blackmail to those you say you are close to, so that they stop disbelieving you.
Did you get any information that after that interview with you, that he went to Tony Momo, who was a minister in the IBB government, to complain that he feared for his life?
No, I wasn't aware of that.
You were not aware of that? Because information reaching me is that he became scared of his life. He did not understand the repeated invitation by the intelligence service under Babangida.
No, the only one I was aware about is Ganifa Emi's utterances. That he got I think after he left that place, Ganifa said he should put these things in writing, which he gave to Ganifa Emi.
There was an interview that has been purportedly linked to you. So I want you to take this opportunity to tell me if it is true. They said you were at the airport and you were asked about Dele Giwa's killings, and the suspicion in the public was that he was killed by government. So that you made this statement. They quoted it by saying, you said that one person cannot come to blackmail us. I am an expert in blackmail. I can blackmail very well. I studied propaganda, so no one person can come and blackmail us after an agreement. Did you make that statement?
No.
Have you read that statement anywhere?
No.
You've not seen that statement?
No, the only one was that was a day I was traveling out. Journalists came to me at the airport. I said, we know you. I said, who am I? You are, I was a colonel there. A colonel told me, I said, meaning what? They said they wanted to interview me. I said, no. I'm not a governor. I'm not a minister. I am not this and that and that. They said, okay, at least you can tell us where you are traveling to. I said, I'm traveling out of Lagos. And they said, I've not said anything. I said, I've told you something. I'm traveling out of Lagos. Then they left. But I think some of them were lingering around. It was at the waiting room. People were just moving around. One of the SS officers that came to see me off just said, he didn't like the way these journalists are called this and that and that and that and that. I said, my friend,
The way they were talking about the death of Giwa?
Complaining against me.
They suspected you.
No, the bar just said that he didn't like the way the journalists were reporting and complaining.
Complaining about what?
Against me.
That what?
What is happening?
What was happening?
Now, the death of Dele Giwa.
They were complaining about who killed Dele Giwa.
And I asked that officer, I said, have you seen where there is collision between a car and an Okada man? He said, yes. I said, what happens? He said, any Okada man that gets there, we just support the Okada man. I said, good. I said, Dele Giwa was a journalist. So all these journalists are just arguing for him without checking. That was the only time. That was when the paper reported it, that I said Dele Giwa is like an Okada man and this and which I didn't say.
No, you said it.
No.
You just gave the scenario now.
That was my officer was talking with.
So they were eavesdropping.
Exactly.
Or perhaps your officer recorded you and sold it to the newspaper.
It's not possible.
Why are you sure? You advised Dele Giwa to be careful of his friend.
Listen, no, the airport issue.
That's what I'm saying. Perhaps that information comes from your officer.
I just told the boy, I gave him an analogy.
Yes.
This and this and that. They said, oh, look, I said, that's exactly why
You did not speak with the journalist.
I didn't speak with the journalist.
So how did the journalist get the information?
Because people, this is waiting room at the airport.
Was your voice that loud?
No.
You were whispering.
People are moving around.
You were whispering.
I wasn't whispering. I was speaking normally.
You were talking normally.
Yes.
So they must have heard you.
That's the thing. Because it was the second day that they called me. I went to Calabar. That it was in the newspaper that I was comparing Dele Giwa death with a problem of Okada and something.
But that is true. But that is true.
It's not true.
Perhaps they gave it wrong interpretation. You said it.
Yes.
But it was wrongly interpreted. That's the point you are making.
Good. And because I asked the officer, when I said, okay, if there is a collision between a car and an Okada person, when the Okada people get there, what happens? He said they will support the Okada man. I said, they won't find out what happened though. I said, but these journalists are supporting Dele Giwa because he's a journalist. That's what I said.
Brigadier General Kunle Togun wrote a book about Dele Giwa entitled Dele Giwa, The Unanswered Questions. Here is the book. He has told his own story. Now, on chapter 2 of the book, he says, since the death of Dele Giwa, security agencies have been accused of having a hand in it. Some of the accusations were based on an interview he had with the Directorate of Military Intelligence in September 1986, and 2 interviews at the State Security Service, as well as 1 interview with the Nigerian police on Nigeria's controversial membership of the Organization of Islamic Conference, OIC. So the security service was accused. But before we get to that point, a parcel bomb was sent to Dele Giwa, right?
Yeah.
They said the parcel bomb bore the insignia of the head of state. Is it true? It was well packaged, like a message from the head of state. Is it true?
That was what they said. It's not true. Because I have analyzed that aspect. Because he said the parcel was in a envelope, which you can say is a padded envelope. And he said that it was put there from the CNC.
Commander-in-Chief.
Now, but again, he said there was the insignia of the presidency on the envelope. If there is the insignia of the presidency there is no need again from the CNC.
Okay, so that is one.
That is one. Now, he said, talking about this parcel bomb, I've analyzed some of areas of doubt of the statements. Because most of the time, the press was quoting Kayode Soyinka.
He was the only eyewitness.
Very good.
He was with Dele Giwa.
Exactly.
When the bomb exploded.
Exactly.
What kind of bomb exploded?
He's the only one that knows.
No, but a bomb exploded. Right?
Yeah.
And as the Deputy Director General of the SSS, you didn't care to know the kind of bomb that exploded?
Okay, let me tell you something. When that incident happened, General Babangida wanted SSS to investigate. But when accusation came up against me and Akilu, that was the police to investigate. Now, I cannot start answering questions about the type of bomb and this and that and that.
Who should answer that question?
The police and DIG Omeben.
Okay, before we get to Omeben, what we all agree on is that a bomb exploded.
Exactly.
And that bomb killed Dele Giwa. Before the bomb incident on October 19th, 1986, it was said that the DMI boss, Halilu Akilu, had called Dele Giwa, intimating him of his likely visit. Is that true?
Yes.
That is true.
The IGO member mentioned it.
Halilu Akilu wanted to visit Dele Giwa.
He asked for his address.
House address. Yeah. And he never visited.
He explained. Because the IGO member said they invited Akilu.
Okay.
And he came. They asked him all these questions. That he said he was planning to travel. So, and he felt that, okay, if his house is close by, on his way to the airport, he could branch and see him. But he didn't.
He didn't?
He didn't travel again.
So why didn't he call to say, I'm not coming again? Okay, you are not Halilu Akilu.
Exactly.
But he wanted to get the house address.
But Omebe cleared Akilu.
But he got the house address, right?
Yes.
And after getting the house address, the next day somebody delivered the letter. Right?
It was 2 days after.
Okay, 2 days after. A letter was delivered. As an intelligence officer, is there a link? Just help us.
There's no link.
Or is it coincidence?
Wait. I mentioned it in my book.
Yes. You are here now.
That all the time I was in secondary school, my favorite magazines were True Detective, Master Detective, which were true crime records of American police. And I mentioned that there was a woman, a widow, that was murdered. 2 weeks before that murder, she had problem. Assault from a black boy, black American. Police documented a lot of things. So in the moment the woman was murdered, they picked that boy up. Because automatically everybody will pick
the coincidence.
He threatened the woman. They picked the boy up. After all checks, they couldn't trace anything to the boy. So they released the boy. But there was a 67-year-old man who is a neighbor to that woman. He was harassing the police. How far you going about the investigation? What are you doing? You have found a solution to it. You should be able to identify the murderer. So the concern was getting to this thing to the police. Then they ran a check on this man. He was the one that murdered the woman.
So link that story to the Dele Giwa subject.
Because where people are thinking, that's normally you should not be the source. And you look into other areas.
In your book, you dedicated enough pages looking at Kayode Soyinka.
I will bring all the things all the observations I raised about him in this place. Let him come and explain them.
Kayode Soyinka was at the time the London bureau chief of Newswatch.
Yes.
It was with Dele Giwa.
Yes.
When the Paso bomb arrived.
Yes.
When the Paso bomb arrived, right?
Yes.
It was a Paso bomb. He was there. So why do you feel? Because you gave a breakdown, raising some questions.
I raised more than enough questions.
So why didn't you arrest Kayode Soyinka at the time?
I was not the investigator.
Why didn't police arrest him at the time?
We raised all these things to the police. It is one of the annexures.
Why didn't the police arrest him at the time?
The police should be able to answer that question. Because we read all these things.
He was in the country. He attended Dele Giwa's burial with his family. The police did not arrest him. And General Togun is coming out now to say that Kayode Soyinka should be interrogated.
I am convinced. And in fact, DIG or maybe put it in his autobiography. There's a chapter on Dele Giwa.
He investigated the case.
He said when they sent for Kayode Soyinka, that they wanted to see him.
So why didn't they arrest him?
He had run away.
Run away?
Wait. The answer that the people gave them was that he does not work here.
He has been coming to this country repeatedly. Why has nobody arrested him?
I don't know if police is aware of his coming in and going out.
The police has not declared him wanted.
Because they've not concluded this thing. And that one of the things I am raising in my book.
Recently
I raised my decision and I said other people who this book can give other ideas so should contribute the thing. Let us add to my own so that we can find a solution.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Yes, it is the Brigadier General Kunle Togo interview on State Affairs about the killing of Dele Giwa, the renowned journalist. Are you still in class? How do you feel? Are you enjoying the interview? Are you on X? Come on X. Tell me what you think about the interview going on. Leave your comments. I'm coming to read your comments. Have you retweeted? Have you reposted the streaming, the broadcast? Are you on YouTube? Yes, I can see you watching on YouTube. But I'm not seeing your comments. Yes, we are streaming on TikTok. Are you on TikTok? Okay, let's go. TikTokers, come on. I can see you on TikTok. I can see you. Thank you for being on TikTok. We are streaming live on TikTok. Thank you. Come on TikTok. Let me see you come. All right, and leave your messages on TikTok. I can see your messages already. Are you on X? Come, let's go. We are streaming on YouTube. We are streaming on LinkedIn. Are you on LinkedIn? We are streaming on LinkedIn. We are streaming on State Affairs app. Download the app on Google Play Store and iOS. We are streaming on Splash FM Facebook page. So come and join the broadcast. The Brigadier General Kunle Togo interview on State Affairs. Stay tuned, stay cool. Gani Fawemi wanted you tried by all means.
Yes.
Gani Fawemi fought to bring you and Haliru to justice on this matter.
Because we didn't commit an offense.
You were acquitted.
The judge said that all he's carrying about is hearsay. Is there in the judgment? That there's no substance in what he was calling about that he called evidences. And what was he calling about? The statement Kadeshon made to him, the statement Billy, Dele son gave to him, the statement Fumi,
Dele Giwa's wife,
gave to him, and hospital records where they said they went on to treat him, Kayode. That's all. And there's nothing there to link I and Akilo. That's why the judge just said he's just kind of.
Why did Gani focus on you and Akilu?
I put it in this book.
Why not Gwazo? Why you and Akilu?
No. I put it here.
Tell us now.
Okay. The issue. When Buhari was a military head of state, he was arresting journalists, prosecuting them. Then, after the dissing, they invited some politicians. And Buhari established a tribunal headed by a major general. I can't remember the man's name. To try those politicians. That was the time the bar association said no lawyer should appear in front of that tribunal, that military tribunal. that let Buhari jail all of them, then the whole world will know that they didn't have fair trial. There was a day Gani Fayemi came up, carried the video camera. That no, he's not going to allow those people to be jailed easily. He's going to defend them. So Buhari felt that Gani Fayemi was loyal to his administration. He started patronizing Gani Fayemi. There are this patronage. I put it in the book. It has to do with New York. And the money to be were in dollars. Before the thing materialized, Babangida took over and stopped that patronage.
So are you saying Gani became angry?
Yes. Come, I put it in the book. And Segun Adeniyi, you were working with this day then. He confronted Gani. See what Ogunroto. I hope he has his facts. I will sue him to court. That was Gani didn't say anything more than that. You couldn't take us to court because evidence there. Is there how Babangida stopped that patronage? So that was why he didn't say anything good in Babangida.
Babangida committed a lot of atrocities on the Nigerian people through the military.
How?
Students were shot on the street.
Students were not shot on the streets.
General Togun, yes, the court acquitted you. No doubt. The court acquitted Akilu. No doubt. But the story refuses to die. Recently, it was announced that you were dead. And in the story, they said the suspected killer of Dele Giwa. How did you feel about that?
This is the issue. It is the mass media that's got this fixed set in their mind. And they are the one shouting this all over the place. They are not ready to face the facts. These journalists that continue shouting, hey, are you telling me that they are not aware that I and Akilu are acquitted?
You were awarded some damages, right?
We sued Gani.
You were awarded some damages?
Yes.
Did Gani pay?
He paid.
He paid you?
He paid.
How much did you receive?
I can't remember.
Gani paid you?
He paid me and Akilu.
Why did you sue
him? But I
him?
think Akilu, for all this noise about we are the killers, we are this, we are that and that. So we have to sue him.
For defamation?
Yes, libel. And I remember some of the things the trauma.
Trauma?
My family was going through.
Can you go through trauma? You?
I'm a human being.
A rugged military officer?
I'm a human being.
General Togun?
I'm coming. What of my wife and children? My daughter was in Federal Girls Government College, Oyo. They were calling her mother's daughter.
They were calling her that?
The letter she wrote to me and my complaint to the principal that time of Federal Girls Government College, and the reply of that principal that he has warned everybody in that school that they should never call my daughter mother's daughter. That daughter is the thing we tendered in court. That I at least tendered.
You still go through the trauma?
I have overcome it.
So why didn't you appear before Puta panel to defend yourself again, this time before Nigerians?
Good. Baba, Rotimi Williams was my lawyer. And when Oputa panel came up, I've even got some documents and this and that. So I went to Baba. So about this, we put our panel. These are the documents I have to defend myself. Baba said, you want to go there? I said, Baba. Baba said, you are not going there. He said, he told me that panel in the hierarchy of the judiciary, he says, is lower than High Court. He said, that panel in the judicial hierarchy is lower than High Court. If High Court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court has cleared me, they cannot, that is, try to make another trial. So you won't go there.
And you didn't go?
If my lawyer, Baba said, you are not going there. And Baba now went and filed paper. Which they submitted to that paper. I'm not coming to church to show up. And he gave his reasons to put a panel.
So after the panel, you wrote this book?
Yes.
To give your own side of the story?
Because there's so much rubbish going on. I said, will this not stop? And that's why one of the honest shots I put there, 4 days after the reaction, I raised observations, areas the police should look into. It's there. And we send it to the police. Check this area, check this place, check this one, check this one.
So how do you feel that Dele Giwa's death was not properly investigated? How do you feel?
That's one of the reasons why I wrote this book. That people should, after reading my book, if any idea comes to my mind, they should forward it. So that they can look into all my observations plus their own, so that we can get to the root.
Was there any Gloria Okon?
I don't know.
You heard of Gloria Okon?
It was the journalist that started shouting about one Gloria Okon. I don't know anything about Gloria Okon. But what I said was that Dele Giwa went to UK. And the airport and other people were saying that, and I said, how can Dele Giwa go to Britain to investigate something? And claim he doesn't know anything about it. And the airport doesn't know. He cannot go there. And Kyle is their bureau de chief in London. How can Dele Giwa go be in London, say he's investigating something, and he will say he doesn't know anything about it?
So what did they say he went to London to do?
That's why I said they should ask them. They cannot claim to say they don't know.
No, what do you think he went to London to do?
I don't know.
Was it about Gloria Okon?
I don't know.
They said Gloria Okon was a drug peddler.
That was their own allegation.
But Newswatch never said that.
Eh?
Newswatch never
They
said
mentioned it.
They only discussed it in the newsroom, and they discovered there was no content or substance to the story.
It is in Ganifa Emi's memo to put up panel.
That?
It is in Newswatch memo to put up panel.
That there was a Gloria Okon.
Yes.
Who was peddling drugs
yes, they
for Babangida's wife. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was arrested at some point. And she was declared dead at some point. But Dele Giwa and Co got to know that she wasn't dead, that they've smuggled her out of the country, and she was somewhere in the United Kingdom. Was it why Dele Giwa traveled?
I don't know.
But as an intelligence officer, I think you should know.
As an intelligence officer, come. This Dele Giwa's issue is not what I'm going to sit down on forever.
It's not.
I'm coming. As an intelligence officer, it happened. I've been cleared by the court. So should I now start investigating, okay, what is this one going to do there? That's not my business. And it is of no national security value. So I cannot sit down.
You have written a book. Thank you for writing your book. At least the future has your story. You have told your story here. And children yet unborn might stumble on your book. But it seems your book is not that popular. I hardly see it. Is it widely distributed?
The press, the mass media descended on this book, started criticizing, what was won by or not? What was the answered questions? What are the questions that be answered on Glory or Code? They are the one that did not allow people. The books are still there.
They are the one. What is it? Can't you reconcile with them?
How do I reconcile with the mass media? With biased mind?
But you are talking to a media man.
That has developed into hatred.
You are talking to a media man.
Yeah, let them know that the most of the mass media in Nigeria, this issue has created hatred in their mind for me. So they are the ones that should look for the truth and let that truth clear all these things from their mind.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Hey, the Brigadier General Kunle Togun interview on State Affairs. Okay, we have come to the end of that interview. If you want to listen to it again and again, you can go on my YouTube channel. The interview is there. You can watch the video. Look into the eyes of the general. The video tells you a different story because you can read the body movement. You can look at me. You can look into my eyes too. So that video, the full video, is on my YouTube channel, and you can subscribe to the channel. So just search for E. Obilo on YouTube. E. Obilo on YouTube. Yes, when you search for E. Obilo, you will see E. Obilo 2. Yes, both of them are my channel, but the other one is a backup channel. So the first E. Obilo, that's where you have the long interviews. The one I'm wearing red top. You can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are streaming on TikTok. We are streaming on LinkedIn. We are streaming on X. And we are streaming on YouTube. We are streaming on State Affairs app. We are streaming on Splash FM Facebook page. The program is State Affairs on Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. After this break, you'll be listening to the Achike Udenwa interview on State Affairs. Achike Udenwa is a member of the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party. He is a former governor of Imo State. Stay tuned and stay cool.
Splash FM 105.5.
You make the argument that the counter coup led to the civil war.
Yes.
You've also said that the counter coup was a revenge coup.
Yeah, a revenge coup.
That means to every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction.
Yes.
The counter coup was a reaction to the January coup.
Yes.
So if you are saying the counter coup led to the civil war, will I be right to also say that because the January coup led to the counter coup, so the civil war can also be linked to the January coup?
Yeah, but how can you link it? The counter coup to January coup. They had their own interest at heart.
Because the counter coup came because there was a January coup.
But look at the killings. Look at the killings. Look at the killings. The counter coup, the target of the counter coup were the ruling class, 2 civilians from the north. 2 civilians from the north. Amadou Bello, who was the premier of the northern region, and the party leader, MPC, and the Tafawa Balewa, who was the prime minister, were killed. Then if you come to Lagos, there was Mamalari, Palm, defending the interests of the government at the center. They were taken out too. Then only Lagema, Lieutenant Colonel Lagema, the 4th Battalion commander at Ibadan, was equally killed because he was defending Akitola, that troubled Western region. That was why Lagema was taken out too. But look at that.
Colonel Onegbe was also killed.
Onegbe because of maybe he was a quartermaster general. Maybe he was having conflict with the revolutionaries.
So an Igbo officer was killed.
An Igbo officer was killed. How do you say about that?
So the counter coup did not just target leadership.
No.
It targeted the people.
The people concerned at the upper echelon of the army.
There was massacre in Abeokuta.
There was massacre. Why I'm saying this, if you compare the coup, the January revolution, with Mohammed Murtala coup of July 29, 1960, you see the disparity here.
In your second book, you said the January coup was ideological.
Ideological, because the January 1966 coup, led by Major Kaduna Njogu, was with ideology and focus. They were having ideology and focus. And they were having a direction to take, path to take. But if you look at July 1966 coup, they had no ideology and focus. The coup was there to revenge.
Obasanjo in this book, My Command, described the killings in the counter coup as senseless killing.
Yes, senseless killing. I describe it in my own new book too.
In chapter 2?
In chapter 2.
Because you quoted this book?
Yes, I quoted this book.
Why did you go for this book?
Because Obasanjo was telling the truth. He was telling the truth that many people don't want to hear. He stated the truth here.
Are you recommending this book to people?
Yes, for history purpose.
Okay.
For history purpose.
The title of this book is My Command, an account of the Nigerian Civil War, 1967 to 1970. A book written by Olusegun Obasanjo, My Command. It will help you understand where we are coming from. You can order your copy from udarabooks.com. Obasanjo said that the killings in the counter coup were senseless. Army officers of Igbo origin were killed in Abeokuta, in Ikeja.
3 of them.
In the north. And northerners and military officers then went to town. And Igbos were targeted. That was what you saw.
Yes.
In Kaduna. Igbo men and women were killed. Even children.
Yes.
That's what you call the pogrom.
Yes.
And because of the pogrom, there was war. Yes. In 1967, you joined the Nigerian army.
Yes.
After you have witnessed the pogrom.
The pogrom, yes.
You joined the Nigerian army during wartime.
Yes.
When did you realize that it was a pogrom? Was it before you joined the army or after you have left the army?
I saw everything. I was a living witness. Then after the war, I decided to write my book.
Why did you join the army to fight Biafra?
To keep Nigeria one. That was the slogan to us. There was no any other slogan rather than to keep Nigeria one.
So by the time you were joining the army, you believed that the Igbo nation was wrong?
Anyway, but later on I discovered that they were not wrong. You know, I was in the trench for 20 months, fighting day and night. 20 months without being posted to the rear or transferred from the trench until the end of the war. And I saw how the Biafrans were determined with zeal to fight us. They were fighting for survival. Even it came to a point in 1969 when a lot of soldiers realized that the war was fruitless. It's not the war that only the ordinary people were being killed in the war front, and those who caused the war were not affected. People started to inflict themselves with injury to be taken to the rear, but until Obasanjo came to save the situation and ended the war. If not, and I believe I stated in my book there how Biafra surrender. It was not much of our firepower or anything. It was hunger.
So let's talk party politics. Let's talk PDP. Let's talk Achike Udenwa. Are you on TikTok? Thank you for being there. You can watch us on TikTok. Are you on X? Let me see. The X. Yeah, for now I'm giving more attention to X comment, but don't worry. I'll come to you, YouTube and TikTok. David Adeotun says on Brigadier General Kunle in Togo, it's obvious that where people presume the death of Giwa Kim might not be true. Akinjide Akim, thank you for joining the program. Oladele Do Joseph is on X. He says, good morning, radio man. It is so sad that Dele Giwa is not here to defend himself by telling his own sides of the story. And the more they try to cover the truth, the more they expose themselves. That is Oladele Do Joseph. You know, a statement was released during the week on this interview that was published in the national dailies. It's a press statement released by Richard Akinola. He titled the press statement, The Interview of Brigadier General Kunle Togun. I'll read the first paragraph because I intend to speak with Richard Akinola. I know he has a lot to say about Gani Fawemi. He said, my attention has been drawn to an interview granted by Brigadier General Kunle Togun, a former Deputy Director of State Security Service, to Edmond Obilo's podcast, wherein he made some insidious and fallacious allegation against Chief Gani Fawemi of blessed memory. Akinola said Togun was one of the two security chiefs of General Ibrahim Babangida who Gani Fawemi accused of killing by parcel bomb Dele Giwa, founding editor-in-chief of Newswatch. Akinola says why Brigadier Togun is at liberty to defend himself in the podcast over the allegation, which is understandable. He, however, doesn't have that liberty to lie against Gani Fawemi. He said that Gani Fawemi was so much against the Babangida regime because he was pained that the Babangida coup, which overthrew the General Buhari government, scuttled Buhari's business favor to Gani, which was in the works before Buhari was overthrown. He said Gani was supporting the Buhari regime, particularly on the trial of politicians for corruption by military tribunal. Akinola wrote a lot about, and I intend discussing this. He debunked the allegations against Gani Fawemi in this press statement, and it was published in almost all the newspapers in Nigeria. It's a very rich, the press statement is like a book. I intend speaking with Richard Akinola. There's a lot to talk about. on this matter. On X, I can see Abeza Charles Obina. He said, I must remind the political elite that politics that is not founded on ethics and morality is bound to fail. A leader ought not to follow the impulses of the society. Ayo Adebanjo is gone. I'll miss the vibrancy of his voice and his contributions to national growth. Adeshola Ibikunle says it's not a crime to be a rich leader, but like the antiquated Roman senators, Nigerian politicians have used the people's wealth for themselves and have weaponized poverty to win elections repeatedly. Nigeria's poverty will continue until we rid Nigeria of these rich, bad leaders. All right. I can see Lanista aspiration here. Lanista says the assassination of Dele Giwa evidently shows signs of government involvement. The gateman saw that the person delivering the letter arrived in a military vehicle, and another witness at the house after the explosion reported seeing an emblem resembling a coat of arms. He says, Edmund, please reach out to Ray Ekbu, Yakubu Muhammad, and Dan Agbese, who were boardroom partners at Newswatch. They have written books mentioning the events following the blast. The story is expanding. The Achike Udenwa interview on State Affairs. Stay tuned. Chief Udenwa, you are a member of the PDP Board of Trustees.
Yes. Yes.
It's like the PDP is about collapsing. What is going on?
Well, I won't say it's collapsing, but it has its problems. What is going on actually is that there are external hands trying to destroy PDP from internal sources, but it has external hands on them. And well, we are still battling with the problem, and I believe PDP will not be destroyed. We will soon be able to get through the problems.
You said external hands.
Yes.
Battling the party.
Yes.
Through internal hands.
Yes, please.
Have you been able to trace the external hands?
Yeah, we know. It's not hidden. It's not hidden. We know that our opponents, the APC, have a hand in what is happening to us. So we know it.
So who are the internal hands the APC is using?
Well, they are using people within our own rank.
Who are these people?
Well, we maybe that is confidential, but we know them.
Is Wike one of those being used to destroy the PDP?
Oh, why are you calling Wike? Have you any information?
Wike works with the APC. He's the minister of the Federal Capital Territory.
Well, it is not unusual that the ruling party can appoint a minister from outside the party. That is not the problem.
And remember, the problem also escalated when Wike could not get the presidential ticket of the party.
Yeah, and anybody, when you vie for a position and you don't get it, you may feel aggrieved. It's normal.
So Wike is aggrieved?
Yeah.
And the Wike group is aggrieved?
They will be. They will be.
So are they the ones fighting the PDP?
I have not said so. But we know the hands that are fighting PDP.
So, do you plan to deal with the hands?
We are already dealing with them.
How?
We are looking at the situation. We are trying to come back together. We are trying to recover as many people as possible. And we are trying to see that those ones that cannot repent, that we get them off the way completely.
How soon would that be done?
Well, very soon. Before the end of this year, at least we're going to have a convention, I think about October.
Convention?
Yes, the annual election convention this year.
Who is going to call for that convention?
It is statutory. The NWC and the NEC, the National Executive Committee of the party. Yeah, we call for the party. We call for the convention.
The National Working Committee is a divided house, is it not?
Yeah, it is divided, but we are bringing them together.
So who is the National Secretary of the PDP as we speak?
As we speak, Honorable S.K. Udokoye is the National Secretary of the party. You heard the Governors Forum said so the other day, recognized him, and then the Board of Trustees also recognized him the other day. So as far as we are concerned, until the court say otherwise, we are acting according to what the court has said so far. The case and what the appeal court ruled was that Udokoye is the secretary. So we abide by it, and then the case has been appealed at the Supreme Court level. So we are waiting for the Supreme Court to give us their own ruling.
Anyanwu is talking about a stay of execution of that judgment.
Yeah, but he didn't get the stay of execution.
Was it not embarrassing that the last Board of Trustees meeting was somehow violent?
Yes. There was some violence.
Why did the PDP allow that?
The PDP did not allow that. The people who were involved were punished.
How did you punish them?
They had to apologize, and the NWC is taking action to make sure that such people are disciplined.
Are you going to expel some persons from the PDP soon?
Well, I wouldn't be able to say that. We have a disciplinary committee of the PDP. We have a reconciliation committee of the PDP. The reconciliation committee is being headed by His Excellency Olagunchoye Oyelola. He is heading the reconciliation committee, and the disciplinary committee is being headed by Chief Tommy Kimi. So this is part of the steps we are taking to get the party together once again. Whoever they find guilty, we expel him.
And PDP in Imo State seems to be house shaking.
Yes.
You know, and I'm wondering why that is so.
No, it is still part of this problem at the national level.
You know, Anyanwu got the governorship ticket in the last election.
Oh yes. It was part of the problem because he got the ticket and still retained the position of national secretary against the advice of people, against what we felt was in the constitution. But that was why, because he refused to resign, and that was what led to the court actions. And we are waiting for the courts to interpret. So far, the Court of Appeal has said that he had left as national secretary by going to contest for governorship. So we are just waiting for the Supreme Court, because we learned he has appealed to the Supreme Court. So if the Supreme Court says he's our secretary, so let it be. We are bound to obey the court judgments.
So who is controlling the structure of PDP in Imo State at this moment?
PDP is a party. One person doesn't need to control the structure.
It seems Anyanwu controlled it at some point.
He was using his position as a national secretary, but that didn't mean he was controlling.
Do you think it is time for Igbo presidency?
It has always been time for Igbo presidency. We have always fought for Igbo presidency. In 2007, in my last year as a governor, I also contested for the presidency. So it has always been there. There's no time we have shied away from it.
So why have the Igbo man not achieved that ambition?
Yeah, because, let me put it straight, the rest of Nigeria is yet to trust an Igbo man to become the president of the country. That's the major problem.
They don't trust an Igbo man?
Yeah, to become the president of this country.
Why the distrust?
Yeah, aftermath of the Civil War. It is still a continuation of the issues of the Civil War.
But we saw what Obi could achieve in the last election.
Well, yet he couldn't become the president. Why couldn't he become the president?
Was he rigged out?
I don't know. He alleges so.
Do you think he was rigged out?
He alleges so. I don't know.
He defeated Tinubu in Lagos.
Yes, he did. He did. But Lagos was not the only state. but he did. Yeah.
Is there a discussion to merge PDP with other parties?
Well, you know, these discussions are not new. At each point in time before the next election, there are a lot of discussion, there are a lot of realignments and all that. It depends on how they work out. It was that type of discussion that gave rise to APC. So there are still discussions going on. There are realignments going on. There are a lot of meetings going on. But this, we have to watch. We don't know when it's going to materialize. We don't know whether the form it will take eventually. But the discussions are going on.
It's less than 2 years to the next presidential election.
Yeah.
By now we should know where the discussion would lead.
Well, I believe that before the end of this year, things will start straightening out.
So you believe there's a coalition talk going on?
We are aware. There are many talks going on left, right, and center.
And you think something will materialize?
Well, something might come out of them.
And if it doesn't come out, APC will have the day, right?
You know, let me put it this way. You know, most of these things are also tinted with personal ambitions. So when these discussions are going on, you are not sure what the outcome will be because people are carrying their ambitions with them. And let's see what happens at the end of the day.
Is it time for PDP to bounce back in Imo State?
Oh, yes. Not just in Imo State. Nationally, we will bounce back.
You bounce back?
I am sure of that.
Can you lead the PDP to victory in the next governorship election in Imo?
Oh, very, very, very easy. As long as if we get it right at the national level, we'll be able to fall in at the state level.
So you need to get it right on time.
Oh, yes. Discussions, as you said, are going on. All moves are going on. And within PDP itself, a lot is going on. I've already told you that we have two committees that are working now, a reconciliation committee and a disciplinary committee. If a disciplinary committee finds you guilty, either you lose your office or you can be expelled from the party. It depends on what sort of offense you have committed. And we will be guided by our constitution. As long as our constitution is there, they will be guided with the constitution and they will recommend to what sort of punishment will be given to such a person. And then the reconciliation committee is there to bring aggrieved people, bring them back, try to mend fences. PDP is still the best organized party in this country.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Achike Udenwa is a former governor of Imo State. He is on State Affairs. Stay tuned and stay cool.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
And we block Port Harcourt through air. Biafra was not having any access to outside world through air, through water, through land. So they were in a desperate situation by then, and they were affected by hunger. I think that factor alone affected the people, the Biafran soldiers on the battlefield. You see, and one thing I jealous Biafran here, I stated in my book, when they were blocked and they were not having access to either weapon from outside world or food, they went into a drawing board, called all their scientists, and they started to produce locally their own weapon to confront us. They confronted us for almost 1 year and some days because we were rejoicing that after the blockade, the Biafran would give up. But they did not give up. They produced their own weapon to confront us. And I reminded Nigeria that they could have harnessed the resources, human resources, the scientific evolution that took place in Biafra to shape the scope of our military department.
In your book, you mentioned Biafran armored vehicle called Red Devil.
Red Devil.
You saw it in action.
They confronted us more than it was a monster, a dangerous monster.
Locally built.
Locally built. Locally built. And it can be compared with the one we imported from Britain and other European countries.
This was in the 60s.
Yes, in the 60s. They developed this. Not that one alone. What about the rocket launcher? They developed it locally. What of the mines that maimed so many of our soldiers, killed so many of our soldiers?
You witnessed the dangers of Ogbunigwe.
Ogbunigwe. I think the sad moment I had was the death of one of my company 2IC called Lieutenant Okpere. You see, when we were advancing towards Afan Power House from Umagbai on the main road, that one was on the top of the mines, and they blew it. It scattered the lieutenant. You see, all his flesh was mangled. Mangled. No single part of his body could be identified to be buried. You see? So to tell you how dangerous that mine was, it killed so many of our soldiers. Killed so many, and it prolonged the war. It prolonged the war. What about the grenade? The hand grenade. They produced it. Whoever could put. I could remember the fight at Aba Waterside, where they were putting chemical in the bottle and threw to us. Killed so many of our soldiers. That was the innovation.
You remember the crossing of Imo River?
Yes. That was the saddest moment of my life on the battlefield.
Can you tell me about it?
It was horrible. It was horrible. It was that time Biafra massacred our soldiers. You see, when we took Aba, I think it was on 4th September 1968, then we were ordered to cross the Imo River. 37th Battalion was ordered to follow Ikotekpene Road to link up with 13th Brigade from Ikotekpene. 31 Battalion, under the command of Captain Issa, was commanded to follow Maya Road to link with the 1st Division. Even we were following them steadily, we pushed them as far as to St. Michael College. And we pinned down there. The second day saw the massive confrontation of Biafran against us. As early as 4 a.m., a machine gun from the Biafran direction beat a staccato rattle. How the Biafran managed to infiltrate our defensive line was a surprise thing to us. They covered the whole rear. They encircled us with a tickling of an eye. They were confronting us fiercely. And then they forced us to withdraw to Aba Waterside. That was where we were killers. They were killing us. I think half of the battalion, 37 Battalion, was sadly reduced to half of them. And then 31 Battalion, the same thing happened to them. Almost 200 and something soldiers of the 31 Battalion were killed. You see?
The way Nigerian troops also demolished Biafrans in Bonny. You also encircled them in Bonny at some point.
But that one could not be compared with the loss we recorded at Aba side.
Was it complacency on the part of the Nigerian troops?
Well, I can't say it. I can't say it could be. Could be.
When you remember the war, how do you feel?
It was sad. It was sad. I don't think such a thing will happen in this country again. I don't think any sensible person who witnessed the Holocaust of the war will talk about any war.
But some young persons are ready. Nigerians are hungry. There is runaway inflation. There's violence in the southeast, violence in northwest. The middle belt is not safe. The northeast is still being bogged down by Boko Haram and ISWAP. Has the political class failed?
Well, APC as a party has failed. Nigerians have found it difficult to accept APC. Even Nigerians have showed it with their votes. And this time around, if we get our acts together, APC will be a goner.
So Tinubu is out already if you get it right.
If we get it right, it's gone, and the APC is gone.
Is this a warning to Tinubu?
Well, Tinubu is my friend, but he knows that if we get it right, his government is gone. APC is gone.
So is he one of those that don't want you to get it right?
I don't know. As far as, well, politics is a selfish game.
Is he one of those using the internal hands?
It is possible he is. Politics is a selfish game. He will want to retain his position. He would like to remain the president. He still has a second tenure to run. So if he takes such actions, he won't be surprised.
But Udenwa will not allow it again.
Not just Udenwa, but we, the party, won't allow it again. That's why we are working around the clock to see that we get it right this time.
Is the PDP capable of lifting Nigerians out of poverty?
Oh yes. Look at the 60 years we ran this country. It might not be perfect. It might not be perfect. Yes.
As we were running the country, we were growing poorer.
No.
Chief Achike Udenwa, we were growing poorer.
No.
You were a minister under Yaradua.
Yes. And our government did so well. Forget that Yaradua died, but we did so well within that short period. PDP, ask Nigerians whether they were better off under PDP than they are now under APC. They will tell you yes, they were better off then. Despite the problems, they were better off then than what they are today. And we are promising them a better life when we get back to power again.
You are coming soon?
Very soon. 2027 is here.
That might be scary to some poor people. PDP again?
Yeah, PDP again. The poor people knew that PDP was not the cause of their poverty, but APC is.
Is it really about party or a systemic issue?
Both systemic and party.
So both parties have failed?
No, PDP didn't fail. We had our problems. There's no doubt. There's not even anybody who will be there today or tomorrow that will not have his problems. There are those problems. The important thing is, are Nigerians worse off now or better off now? That is the question you ask. Nigerians are worse off today. That's the major issue. After all, what is government all about? To look after the welfare of the people. That's what government is all about.
Welfare and security of the people.
Oh yes. So you ask yourself, in those years of PDP and these years of APC, when were Nigerians better off?
Do you still have political ambition?
Well, my political ambition is to see Nigeria once again doing better than we are doing today. But not personal. I don't have much of personal ambition anymore.
You don't want to run for president?
No.
You don't want to go to the Senate?
No. I'm not getting younger. Now I'm an elder statesman.
You are more than 70 now.
Yes, please.
You should be 76 now?
I'm 76. Not should be.
And you look still strong.
Well,
what is the
by
secret?
the grace of God.
What is the secret? How do you live your life daily?
No. I live an ordinary man's life. I have no special things I do or special food I eat or anything special. I live my normal life.
And you are happy?
I'm a happy man. And anything I do in life, I always do it ensuring that I have peace of mind. And once I have peace of mind, every other thing is added onto me.
Please, I want you to speak to young persons listening to you, young boys and girls of this age. You know, when you see them, when you see the life they live, do you have any advice for them?
Oh, yes, I have advice, because most of them are in a big hurry. I understand things are difficult for everybody now, but you don't have to put your hand in all sorts of means to make it overnight. No. Just do your best to live a normal life, and every other thing will be added on to you. But by the time you are doing the question of do or die, I must get this, I must be that, Look, you are not God. And of course, even if I don't vote for you, you can buy your way through. If you have the right amount of money in your hand, you can buy your way through.
How? How do they do that?
Well,
can you buy INEC?
Ask the courts.
When you say buy your way through,
ask
you
the
buy
courts.
the voters?
Ask the courts.
You buy the voters?
Buy everything.
You buy INEC?
Everybody.
You buy police?
Everybody.
You buy the army?
Everybody. You buy them all.
So our election is about buying?
Yes, please. And that is one thing we must curb.
State Affairs with Edmond Obilo is live.
Hey, we've come to the end of today's program. Next week is another time on State Affairs. The next program is Ijoba Tiwa with Sheun Special. Ijoba Tiwa with Sheun Special. Don't miss that show. Don't miss it. Don't miss that show. Splash 105.5 FM, the Integrity Station. I am Edmund.